Well, hello, everyone. This is really an amazing site. My name is Eliza Johnston, and I am so honored to be here today to tell you a little bit about what we do and, more importantly, how we do it. But before I get into that, I'm going to start with the why and a little bit about specifically why I am here. These are my kids, Izzy and Julian, but actually this story begins before I became a mom. The first and longest running argument that my now wife, Gretchen, and I used to get into was about the place of environmentalism in the larger landscape of movements for social change. The brief version of our disagreement was this: I could not understand the utility of fighting for civil rights if you weren't first fighting for our climate. And Gretchen thought the environmental movement was overwhelming, hopeless, and a little elitist. We would go back and forth about this often and eventually agree to disagree. Perhaps this argument wouldn't have bothered me so much if I didn't find myself engaged in it over and over again with friends and family. Whether trying to convince friends to support clean energy, to avoid natural gas, or to show up at a rally, I was often met with the same refrains. Life went on this way for several years, and then two significant events occurred. First, in February of 2011, we welcomed our daughter, Izzy. And later that year, I got a phone call from Vanessa, laying out the vision for the as-yet-to-be-named Mothers Out Front. Now, what she proposed didn't sound particularly life-changing, but there were several aspects of the Mothers Out Front vision that altered my ability to have conversations with my friends and family about my deep commitment to protecting the earth. First, Mothers Out Front linked protecting the climate to the role of motherhood, something that would not have fully resonated with me until I became a mother. The connection between motherhood and the earth has been passed down through generations, across cultures, and is embedded in our everyday discourse. Although few of my friends considered themselves environmentalists, an increasing number were considering themselves mothers. And even those who did not yet have children understood the power of the term mother as a protector. Second was the changing landscape from environment to climate justice. This was, of course, a growing shift in discourse across the country, but not one that I had fully wrapped my head around. Climate justice concerned the fight with healthy climate to other fights against inequity. People like my wife and other friends, for them, this simple shift in language created a bridge. It highlighted the fundamental ways in which clean air, clean water, and a healthy climate facilitated economic, racial, and gender justice. And at heart, those two shifts became the basis for our vision and goals. We are creating a constituency of mothers fighting for our climate, with the goals of enabling mothers to take active leadership. We're creating a national movement pushing for swift, complete, and just transition from dirty to clean energy. Much like many of you sitting here today, I left our forced organizing house party with a deep connection to my fellow mothers and a new way to talk about this old problem. For friends and family who had never before joined the environmental movement, this call to action around our common experience as mothers who loved our children was enough to encourage them to take that first step. And it was the sense of community and leadership development that kept them coming back. Moreover, I found that we mothers were a force to be reckoned with. And that is our theory of change. If enough mothers get engaged in concrete campaigns at the state and local level, we will become a cohesive, empowered, and activated constituency that will alter the political landscape. Because mothers provide both the outside support and the pressure for our elected officials to take bold action on climate change, making it far more challenging for polluters to continue their actions unchecked. But why mothers? Well, we are 80 million strong, and we are everywhere. We vote, we have purchasing power, we have extremely strong social networks, and we are wired to protect. A fundamental truth about American politics is that elected officials respond to pressure from organized constituencies. As one of our fantastic moms said, Mothers Out Front leverages a combination of people and power with power in the people. But how do we do this? Our approach to organizing is deep organizing, rooted in community, relationship-based, motivated by our shared values, volunteer-led, and strategic. Over the next couple of minutes, I'm going to use the Massachusetts gas leak campaign to illustrate our approach to organizing. Put simply, the goals of the campaign are to fix the gas leaks, stop new pipelines, and speed the deployment of renewable energy. This campaign has provided engagement opportunities at each of the 3 levels of action. At the individual level, we can bring people together through house parties to develop relationships. At the community level, we can partner with elected officials, agencies, organizations, and universities. And at the state level, we can engage and activate our constituents to demonstrate our political will. Through these 3 levels, we develop leaders as we move individuals up the ladder of engagement. The Gas Leaks campaign demonstrates how action on every level is critical and allows us to engage more moms, develop new leaders, and realize concrete wins at the city and state level. In communities across the states, we unleashed tagging teams to identify gas leaks in their neighborhood and raise awareness. These actions allowed us to engage one-on-one with our neighbors and empower new members. The tagging allowed us to make the invisible visible and raise awareness, but it also offered the opportunity for leadership development as moms dug into concrete issues and organized at the most local level. And it generated some concrete momentum. All 16 of our community organizing teams across the state are working on the Gas Leaks campaign. They are organizing local actions around leaks and getting publicity from local papers, radio, and TV. At the city level, Mothers Out Front moms met with local elected officials to pass ordinances requiring utilities to fix the leaks. As Boston City Council member Tito Jackson said, "I don't want my 8-year-old friends to have to deal with this. We will be held accountable by mothers out front, mothers in the back, and mothers on the side. We have 360 degrees of accountability." This quote exemplifies the power and influence of mothers to sway public officials. During the gas leak campaign hearings in Boston last summer, the room was packed with Mothers Out Front shirts. When Mothers Out Front got involved, it was as if the army had arrived, said Joel Wool of Clean Action Network. And again, we had some concrete wins. We met with elected officials, we helped pass resolutions to support for state-level legislation, and on December 22nd, Mayor Marty Walsh signed the Boston Gas Leak Ordinance into law. But there's more. At the state level, we activated our constituents to demonstrate our political will. But we alone did not do this. The campaign has allowed us to build and deepen valuable relationships with our statewide allies. And we had some really impressive wins. Mothers Out Front met with 3 of the largest utilities in Massachusetts, and each agreed to a study to identify super emitters. Governor Baker signed an omnibus energy bill, including language that we fought for, requiring utilities for the first time ever to fix not only explosive leaks, but also those that have a significant environmental impact. Governor Baker also issued an executive order laying out a comprehensive plan to address climate change, including specific language around gas leaks. And what this campaign demonstrated is that our approach to organizing is working, and our theory of change has been validated. Across the organization, we see that our investment in deep organizing pays off in ways that differ from other groups doing this work. Our 800+ actively participating volunteers across the country spend an average of 1.6 hours per week on Mothers Out Front activities. That's over 58,000 hours per year, equivalent to 30 full-time staff. Moreover, 200 of our volunteer leaders spend an average of 10 to 20 hours per week on Mothers Out Front activities. It is this deep commitment to our volunteers and the leadership development that they receive along the way that enables us to create this impact. And we are feeling the push and pull to expand. The key driver of this growth is interest. We are getting more and more calls and emails from moms reaching out to us across the country to start teams. They too are feeling the urgency to enact swift, complete, and just transition from fossil fuels to clean energy. Given the lack of leadership at the federal level, there is even more urgency for states and regions to take the lead. And they are seeing that our model is working. So how are we going about this expansion? Well, we have some guiding criteria. First, water the grass where it is growing, which is a phrase we throw around a lot. That means support growth where there is energy on the ground. We have a commitment to climate justice, so we are focused on growth in frontline communities. And the National Leadership Team has identified strategic opportunities so that they are politically viable. And this is what expansion looks like. As an example, Robin, a mother in Southern California, reached out to us in January of 2016. She's a mom who felt incredible urgency to be proactive and to protect her kids. Our approach really resonated with her, but we didn't have a presence there yet. So we decided to support her remotely, providing a remote organizer, coaching from volunteer moms who are doing this work themselves in their own communities, as well as tools like an organizing manual and key trainings. Using this approach, we are now supporting moms in 13 communities in 9 states who are building campaigns to get decision makers in their communities and states to act. Based on where we have seen interest and our expansion criteria, this is what the map looks like for 2017. And Robin is not alone in choosing to act instead of losing sleep at night worrying about how climate change will affect her children. Mothers know what they need to do to protect their kids. As one mother in Southern California, San Jose, California, reflected, if we don't do this, who will? So I leave you with this. On May 1st, we kicked off our first national campaign, the Season of Mothers. As part of this month-long campaign, we are hosting house parties, marching, rallying, speaking at marches across the country, partnering with local universities to conduct research, and delivering over 4,000 signed postcards to decision makers in states across the country. We are making asks of our local politicians. In 4 short years, we have learned how to support moms to step up and build power. There are moms all over the country who are desperate to get going. All that is standing in their way is our ability to support them. So please join us today so that we can. Thank you.